Strife Hayes uploaded this particular video yesterday. I think it was yesterday, right? Yeah, 19 hours ago. And this video is a response to the New World fans. And I'm very curious to see how this plays out. For those of you that are not aware of the current New World timeline, and yeah, some of the things that I'm about to mention are also reasons why I'm not currently super engaged with New World. I'm kind of just like waiting to see when Amazon Game Studios is eventually going to fix this game. If they're even going to be able to fix this game, I don't know. I can tell you that I was super excited about playing New World. Then they kept delaying their server transfer. Now the server transfer is back up. There was a live stream where I showed you guys a server transfer, but then we couldn't see the server names. It was pretty friggin' ridiculous. But to give you guys a timeline of the things that Strife has been talking about, he's been talking about the invulnerability bug, which you achieve by dragging the window. Then, after Amazon said they fixed it, he showed, no, you didn't, because now I can do the invulnerability bug using the dodge roll, because you get dodge roll, then you get iframes, and then you hold the window at that exact moment, you would get the invincibility bug. Then Strife Hayes started hypothesizing that potentially the client could be the structure in New World could be clan authoritative, which means essentially, like I mentioned in one of my streams, if that is the case. As a matter of fact, I even said, if he's right, because I don't know if he's right or not, but if he's right, it means that eventually people will figure out a way to, you know, like mess with gold and do all kinds of crazy stuff. But ultimately, seems the developers fire back, and that New World fans have been slamming Strife Hayes for bringing these things to light. And it's like, listen, if you're a New World fan and you're attacking Strife Hayes, you should go see a psychiatrist. You should go see someone, because like there's probably a hole in your head. Like I don't know what to tell you, because like Strife Hayes is bringing to light some of the problems that the game has, and essentially the effect of that is kind of like lighting a fire under Amazon Game Studios' ass, which to me, that's a good thing. Get them to fix the shit. Get them to fix the shit fast. I don't have the patience to go test out all of these things that he and his friend are testing out. Basically, there was another bug where chat, you could link something in chat. You could put giant sausages in chat. You could do a flashbang thing where essentially you would cover the whole screen yellow. You could put something in chat that just hovering your mouse over it would cause your game to crash. Like, there are a lot of problems going on with New World, but people decided to attack Strife Hayes, and this is a response video, and I am very, very curious to see what this video is all about. So without any further ado, let's actually get into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Strife Hayes, and in this video I'm going to show you how to break out of bounds before the Outpost Rush PvP battle begins, so you can start already on the battlefield, and then...
So it's funny that his reply to all of this stuff of people coming after is like, here, I'm going to show you like 5 different more ways that you can break the game.
How to complete town project gathering quests without spending the items, effectively resulting in unlimited experience and territory experience gain without losing any of your own resources. But before we begin, I need to explain a few important things. Recently, I've made a few videos on New World, and I've made some mistakes. I'd like to address the incorrect things I've said. Then I'd like to address the idea that I am anti-New World, that I somehow hate the game or hate the people enjoying the game, because that is simply not true. My methods may be slightly more public and destructive than you feel.
Blunt is what I would call them, and I like your methods, Josh. Keep it coming.
As necessary, but if you'd let me, I'd like to explain why I do things the way I do. Let's start with the most fundamental aspect of all of my content. If you are a gamer on any level of video game at all, I am not your enemy. I do not think you are wrong for enjoying New World. And I do not think the fun or enjoyment you have found in the game is any less valid because it has flaws and bugs in it. It is incredibly important to understand this is not me versus you. It is not us versus them or player versus non-player. This is not...
Oh my god, dude! In his server, there's people looking for tanks in Amreen? Dude, I want to go to Josh's server. What the fuck? There's somebody looking for a tank in Amreen. And it's like, it's the 2nd of November and there's somebody looking for a tank in Amreen. I'm switching servers right now. Like, dude, there's nobody looking for tanks in anything in my server. There's nobody looking for anything because nobody's even got keys to do anything.
Tribal warfare. What it is me believing you deserve better games and better treatment from gaming companies. The priority of my videos is always the player, being as direct with you as I can and sharing with you the good and the bad of the game in question. I have praised games I personally dislike and slated games I subjectively love. My priority in my videos is you, the player, regardless of how I feel. Many people counter that point by saying I have never praised New World. This is categorically wrong. I have repeatedly said the graphical design is top-notch and the sound design is probably the best in any MMORPG currently out there. Exploring the wilderness and...
Let's not go that far, Josh. The sound design's pretty good. It's pretty good. But listen, when you're talking about sound experiences, you know, there's this, I'm not sure if you've heard of this MMO. It's got a free trial. It includes the critically acclaimed Heavensward expansion. You can level up to 60 with no time limitation. Huh? You've heard about that? See, when it comes to sound design, dude, it don't get much better than good old soaking, baby. It don't get much better than good old soaking. Is all I'm
seeing
saying.
A tree be felled in the distance and hearing the crash of the timber while the ambient light rays filter through the branches is absolutely superb. If you value exploration, then New World is one of the best games for that. I also enjoy the crafting system and am a huge fan of how, at higher levels, you can craft some of the best equipment in the game. I feel the number of resources needed needs balancing, but in general, the crafting system is solid. It's viable and important. I see many people commenting, well, I'm having fun, and that's great, but your having fun doesn't negate the effects the flaws of the game are having on the rest of the player base. I also see many people saying, it's a new MMO, there are bound to be flaws. I find this type of thinking honestly quite sad, especially when I see people commenting things such as, I've been playing MMOs for 20 years and this is to be expected. I believe this is a sad state to be in.
This is to be expected. It's like, hey man, you know, it is what it is. You know, the game's like that. Game came out broken. It's like pretty soon that's going to be every single AAA game. They come out and they're fucking broken. You're like, well, you know, it's just like that. This is why it was important for me. For instance, to give you guys an example, when Monster Hunter Rise came out, it was important for me to tell everyone that, like, I didn't like the fact that it didn't come out with a full story. Like, you know, it's important that that doesn't become a norm. I can be understanding the fact that, you know, there's COVID, there's extenuating circumstances, and by the time 3.0 rolled around, I felt like the game had more than enough content. I mean, even just with what it launched, it had more than enough content to satisfy me, so it's whatever. But by the time 3.0 came out, it's like way more content than I would ever need to be satisfied for how much I paid for the game, so it's whatever. But it is always important to call these things out. You can never get to a point where it's like, well, this is what we expect. You want to know why? Because that is how you get fucking FIFA. That's how you get fucking FIFA, which is literally the same fucking game for 5 fucking years, and people eat it up. They're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy the new FIFA. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Oh man, I can't wait to grind all those cards all over again. Gonna be so good. You know, these fucking people, like, they got problems in their heads, dude. Like fucking buying fucking booster packs of players. Like, I'm sorry, dude. Okay, listen, I can be very understanding about a lot of things. Like, listen, you want to play World of Warcraft, you go play World of Warcraft. You want to play Diablo 2, you go play Diablo 2. But dude, if you play FIFA, like, here's the thing, not even just playing FIFA. If you actually play FIFA Ultimate Team, like, I'm sorry, there's something fucking wrong in your head. I'm sorry. It's like, I hate it's your money, man. You do what you want. But in my opinion, you're fucked up in the head. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry that I say it as bluntly as I do. But man, dude, I fucking can't, dude. FIFA or any of these other sport games that do, the FIFA Ultimate Team methodology, which is basically like, you know, they sell you a game that's bugged to hell and back. It's basically a roster update from the previous game. Most of the time it loses features. And then on top of it, they charge you a premium to go play FIFA Ultimate Team and all. See, this is, by shutting up, this is what your games are going to get. This is why it's important that people speak up about problems that they have. This is why it's important that people criticize things that happen in video games so that, you know, they don't happen next time around. That's the problem. That's the problem that I have. That's why I want to see him talk about these things. And that's why people should never, ever just go like, well, it's what we expected, One of the things that I kind of feel like I always kind of expect is the shit show that is the queues whenever a new MMO launch. But even then, it's not like I look at it like, well, it's what I expected. It's like, it is what I expected, but I also kind of had a slight inkling of hope that eventually people will be able to overcome that. We'll see what happens when Endwalker launches, but I expect that we'll also see some pretty fucked up server queues too. Let's see if they can handle that. But anyways, I'm getting way too off topic on crazy tangents. Let's get right back down to New World. Basically, the point is, you should never say the words, this is exactly what we expected. Actually, it's not even about saying the words. It's about, we shouldn't even talk about this because this was expected. You should always talk about it. Even if it was expected, you should always talk about it. It should never become the norm that we just bow down, take it up the ass and accept. It should never become the norm.
Simply expect a product to release in a poor state and to excuse the poor state with "that's how it always is" not acceptable to me.
I agree.
As a gamer, believe you deserve better, and no matter how many poor MMO launches I am forced to live through, I will not allow launching in an incomplete state to become normalized.
Agreed.
Just because every game before has done it does not excuse you doing it now. There have been people on the New World forums and the subreddit, even some coming into my live Twitch stream, who believe I want the game to fail. Nothing could be further from the truth. I want New World to succeed so I and my friends can play it. And I see these early day troubles as a sign of poor quality control and poor beta testing that needs to be sorted out sooner rather than later. Imagine if a new restaurant opened and in the first month half the customers got food poisoning. You wouldn't say, it's only been a month, let the food poisoning issue work itself out. You wouldn't say, well, I ate there and I was fine. This would not negate the other people getting sick. If you went to this restaurant in the opening week and found some glass in your food, you wouldn't simply hand wave it away and say, well, it's only the first week. Bound to be a few shards of glass in some meals. We hold many industries to exceptionally high standards. The fact we don't hold the gaming industry to an equally high standard is exactly why the gaming industry feels so comfortable serving you a subpar product. You may accept less, I will not. When reporting on the bugs and the glitches, one of the most common replies I see from fans and defenders of the game is, just have patience, they will fix it. I admire your optimism, but having worked in many industries, allow me to offer an alternative viewpoint. A company makes decisions based on profits. If it is financially viable, it will do it. If a bug or a glitch exists in a game, it will only be patched when patching it makes more financial sense than simply leaving it there. Fixing things takes time and labor. Both of these cost money. If a bug is determined to cost the company X amount of cash per year, and this is an acceptable loss, they simply won't fix it. If fixing it would cost 100x, then the company can survive for 100 years without fixing the bug. That is the best financial choice. It is simply not a good business decision to fix.
And this is why it's so important that whenever you play a game, one of the things that I kind of want to make a video talking specific about this. I'm not sure when it's going to be, but one of the things that I've began to value the most in the video games that I've played is how passionate the developers are about their game, which I don't think that the Amazon is particularly passionate about their game because they keep, messing shit up. That's not to say that the game is not good. That is to say the level of passion that they have for their game is not as much as I would like. It is important to me that developers are passionate about their game. Like, to give you another idea, long time ago, old school Blizzard, despite all the problems that may have happened there, I would wager that the people who made Diablo 2, the original Diablo 2, were extremely passionate about their game. The people who made Warcraft 3 were extremely passionate about their game. The people who made StarCraft were extremely passionate about their game. I can assure you that was the case, regardless of toxic behavior in the workplace, all this other bullshit. This does not excuse that, but I'm talking specifically about measuring passion. And how could you tell that these people are passionate about the game? You just play the game and you can tell. By just playing the video game, you can tell. You want to know another series that is very easy to see that there is passion in the game? Monster Hunter. You play a Monster Hunter game, you can feel that there is passion placed in that game. You can feel it if you just play the game, and if it's a type of game that you enjoy. Because some people will just not enjoy the game because it's not for them. It's whatever. Those people will not be able to see the passion because they don't like the game. But the people that actually appreciate the game and they play it and they're like, there's passion in this game. Even if you look back to World of Warcraft, back to like Wrath of the Lich King, there was passion in that project. You look at Monster Hunter, there's passion there. You look at Final Fantasy XIV. I challenge anyone that finished Shadowbringers to tell me that there's not passion in Creative Business Unit 3. I challenge literally anyone that has finished that game's story to tell me there's not passion in that game. See, that's what I'm talking about. And you look at something like New World and you're like, you can tell that there was an attempt there. There was something there. But like full-on passion, I don't know. Maybe they're understaffed, maybe something, yada, yada, yada. But that is one of the things that I value the most nowadays in the video games that I play is passion.
I, along with other YouTube content creators, make videos exposing these glitches. Many of you become angry, stating we are making it worse, sharing the trick, and more people will start doing it, which will affect more people in the game and people will leave, or new players won't join because it becomes common knowledge. This
is why I believe that they need to hit the reset button. I know that a lot of people are going to be mad. This is another reason why I stopped playing, because I'm just like, dude, I think the way to fix this at this point is first fix the problem. Then after you fix the problem, boop. You know, friggin' Dalamut comes down on New World, boom, reset button. You gotta do it, dude. Because, I mean, who's gonna take the game seriously after people have capped gold? There's gonna be people riding that gold for God knows how many years. Come on. They have to do something. Even to an extent, even Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction did this. Like, they deleted a bunch of, like, duplicated Stones of Jordan. They even had, like, an event with Uber Diablo and shit about that. I remember that a long, long time ago. So, yeah.
Is true, and this in turn forces the company to fix the glitch, because now fixing it is more financially viable than leaving it. The sausage glitch using HTML markup in the chat box was in the game for months after the video from Callum Upton and myself showing it, and the A data equals 1 mouse over crash bug. They have now removed the ability to write A tags in the chat box, effectively fixing it. If our videos change the impact of a glitch from, oh, we'll ignore it, it's only affecting a few players and doesn't affect sales, to, we should fix this now, it's affecting some players, then I see it as a net gain for the players of the game. Over the long term, the game becomes healthier. I will never directly attack or call out staff members or suggest anyone harass the staff of Amazon Games in any way, that's not acceptable, but I will show what the game they have made can do and the faults within. The players deserve to know. If you enjoy New World, that's great. But being blind to the flaws isn't a viable improvement tactic, and waiting for the company to fix them in their own time means they will always prioritize what loses them money over what doesn't, which means you will always have a smoothly working cash shop and a very janky game. If everyone's...
Listen, here's what you guys need to understand about Just Strife Hayes.
Why is he running, Dad?
Because we have to chase him.
Okay, we're going in! Go, go! Move!
He didn't do anything wrong.
Because he's the hero Gotham deserves. But not the one it needs right now.
simply sat and patiently waited without losing the company any money, nothing would ever get done. Where would the motivation to do anything be? I know many people do not like confrontation, but in many cases it is required for results to happen. This is the equivalent of me politely but firmly asking to speak to the manager and explaining the service I, along with hundreds of thousands of other people, have received isn't acceptable, and I will not leave until you've fixed it, and until you do fix it, I will show everyone what you are providing. Before I show you the insanely simple experience bug, I'd like to address one major point. I was wrong. In a previous video, I stated the New World client was client-side authoritative. I stated this because the evidence we had led us to believe this was the case. The slow falling effect, the rolling and moving the window at the exact roll frame to cause immunity, these were moments of manipulation through the client that the server should have overridden, but didn't. Amazon has since released a statement explaining how their server architecture works, stating it's a bit more complex than that. Decisions are made server-side, but the client has limited authority ability to delay certain messages, and the server waits for a reply from the client before processing, and they have made improvements in this area. So it's not actually completely one or the other. When this statement released, many people on the New World forums were cheering and couldn't wait to see me turn tail and hide for
Doesn't that mean that technically speaking, he's not wrong? He's not fully correct. He's also not fully wrong either. Because there's a little bit of A, little bit of B.
being wrong, but that's not what this channel is. Me being wrong is fine. It will happen occasionally whenever I fail to research or I trust wrong information. In this case, me being wrong is good for the players. This makes the client a lot safer than we first thought. My job isn't to say something and then defend it in spite of alternative evidence because of my ego. My job is to play games, enjoy games, and advocate for the players as best I can. I made a video using the best knowledge I had at the time. I called the client authoritative. Amazon released a statement explaining how it isn't. I was wrong. Hopefully this is the start of a more open dialogue between Amazon Games Studios and the players. If me being wrong causes conversation to happen and the players to receive more information, I consider it a fair price to pay. I know many people who disliked me used this mistake as a gotcha moment, and they were then confused when I was thrilled to be wrong. This isn't about my ego. While no one likes being wrong, and public...
It's so weird when people are sycophants to the point where it's like, you can't say anything wrong about my video game. It's weird, especially when it's valid criticism, because sometimes there's some people who just say some dumb shit about video games. It is what it is. But a lot of times people have something to say like, hey, here's this really nasty bug that your game has, please fix it. And people are like, how dare you? How dare you point this out and shine a light on this? What?
Mistakes are, of course, embarrassing. My loyalty is to the players, regardless of what they think of me. And
Power
my
to the
credibility
players.
requires me to admit my failings and mistakes when they do happen. With that being said, my previous videos have highlighted bugs which Amazon Games Studios then immediately fixed, so let's see if we can keep that process going. If you want to take part in the Outpost Rush PvP minigame, you normally have to wait behind the gates and then run in when they open, but if you follow this extremely simple route of climbing onto the stairs and then up and around some boxes, through the greenery and over the invisible wall, you can begin with your whole team already in the map and eliminate the travel time between the points and begin capturing all the points the instant the game starts. This is simply bad level design and can be fixed with a single invisible wall around the edge. Until this is fixed, enjoy PvP being fundamentally unfair. And now the best bug I've found so far this week, actually emailed to me by a viewer, so thank you for this. You can accept a project quest from the town board. Some of these quests require you to collect a certain number of items and then hand them in. Completing project quests gains you coins, territory, standing experience, and general experience, but it uses up the collected items. Well, here's the trick. I have accepted a quest to gain 100 water. I go and get the water, and then, before handing it in, I do the following. Place all of the water I have into storage. Now, one interesting aspect of New World is you can sell items on the auction house directly from your storage, and you can hand in collection quests directly from your storage. And it's the combination of those two events that causes this bug. I am now going to go to the auction house and list all of my water for sale. The water is now both in my storage and listed on the auction house. I now need to go and hand in the collection quest, and the useful thing is I do not need to go to the storage and withdraw the item to my inventory. I can just hand the collection quest in directly from the storage. So I return to the town project board and complete the quest. This takes the 100 water away and gives me the experience, territory standing, and coins. But now, if I go back to the auction house, I will see my sell request for the 100 water is still there. So if I cancel my sell request, it will refund all of the items and give them back to me. I have already handed in the 100 water to complete the quest, but when I cancel the auction request, I get 100 water back. I can do this again to prove it isn't a fluke, and I'll do it without cutting the video so you know I'm not editing anything. I will accept a quest needing 5 large salmon, then I will buy these from the auction house, use the storage trick, hand in the quest, and then get all of my salmon back.
Oh my God. And it's like, the important part of all this, to me, the important part of all this is like, at this point, with these problems, with the gold duping problems, with everything that's been happening in the world, the economy is just fundamentally destroyed. The economy of this game, whoa, that is loud, Josh. The economy of this game is just fundamentally and absolutely destroyed past any saving. You can't save this economy at this point. Like, who can take the economy of the game seriously? So they need to address this problem before I ever would make the decision to play it again, which I don't know. They need to address this situation somehow. How did you fix the gold duping? How did you fix the item duping? How did you fix all of the problems that this game currently has? It's insane. You seen they created a new dupe when disabling trade post and trading? No, I didn't. They did that as well. Oh man.
If only I could be so grossly incandescent.
Ripex Doc, thank you very much for being grossly incandescent 45 months. Tip of the hat. Appreciate the support. Thank you. Thank you very much. At least Amazon is fixing it. Yeah, about that. It seems that every time they fix something, they keep messing it up. Snipe puts the salmon for sale. Oh, he's canceling it because already
Simple as
delivered.
that. You can now go to every town and do every project collection quest without losing any of your resources, and this is repeatable. For some reason, however, it doesn't work with potions. I have said many positive things about New World. My big problem is all the positives in the game will not hold players if the negatives remain so plentiful. We have been telling Amazon about the issues since beta and they haven't listened. They have released the game to you with all these flaws because they think this is what you will roll over and accept. You have been telling me that you've reported these bugs on the forums and they didn't listen to you. You put them on Reddit and the Reddit mods took them down because that's what Reddit mods do. People say to me, if you know so much, why don't you make a better MMO? I see this line of thinking as...
Dude, this is the dumbest... people who say this are so fucking dumb. This is the resource of the last resort of somebody that doesn't have an argument. Oh, if you're so smart, why don't you make a better one? It's like, yeah, sure. Me and my team of... Wait. It's just me. Fuck. Yeah, me and my team of me, I'm going to go ahead and single-handedly make a better MMO. Like that's just so incredibly fucking dumb, such a non-argument to have that I god damn, dude. Why don't you make a better one? It's like, really? That's the argument you're going to go? It's like, dude. Yeah, imagine going to a restaurant, the food that they serve you like a fucking raw piece of meat. And you're just like, hey, can you make this meat better? And the chef comes out and he's like, why don't you make a better one? And I'm like, okay, motherfucker, give me a frying pan. I'll make a better one. Jesus fuck, dude. It's like, what the fuck? Imagine going to a restaurant. There's like 2 pubes in your food. And you're like, hey, excuse me, sir, there's 2 pubes in my plate. Why don't you make a better one? And it's like, what? You want me to put more pubes in there? Like, what are we talking about? It's like, come on.
Slightly flawed. I cannot build a plane, but I know the engine shouldn't be on fire or hanging off the wing. I cannot build a skyscraper, but I know they're not meant to lean over too much or be made of Play-Doh. I cannot create an MMORPG from the ground up, but I can actually do a small part of your request. I can help make a better one. I choose New World, and I choose to help make it better by making the players' voices heard and the developers motivated to fix things, because then the executives will eventually realise giving the games division money to fix their game is a financially viable choice. Some people have excused the bugs by simply saying, well, they don't affect me, why don't you just play the game casually and ignore them? This isn't acceptable, and it's an incredibly selfish way to be. The Outpost Rush PvP bug doesn't affect me because I am not a PvP player. Just because this content is not aimed at me does not mean PvP players don't deserve a fair and balanced game mode. I don't play it, I probably never will, but I will still advocate for you being treated better. This isn't you against me, or us against them. It's all of us, as gamers, unified against unfinished games.
Josh, I think the important question that everybody in this chat has is, why the fuck is your gear broken, Josh? What the fuck, dude? Fix your gear. Look at this. It's embarrassing.
The day it becomes acceptable to release an unfinished game and expect all the players to just be okay with
As he replies, my gear represents the state of New World. It's broken.
with it, while you slowly fix it over the next couple of years, is the day we, as gamers, lose. Thank you for watching. Thank you again to all the supporters on Patreon and Twitch who keep the channel alive. You can support from only £1 a month. Check the video description for links to the Patreon, Twitch, Twitter, Discord, and the second channel Josh Strife Plays, where I replay classic games voted on by you. And as always, have a great day.
Dude, Soul Reaver being up there is like really, really cool. I love Soul Reaver. But yeah, it's like, I'm happy that Just Strife Haze is doing this because personally, I don't have the patience to. I'm just like, if I see that a game is busted to the point where it's not playable and I'm just like, oh, I really want to play this game, but the game's just like fucking broken, I just kind of like feel like not playing it. Like I'll point out a couple of problems, but then I'm like, yeah, I want to go play something that's actually not broken. And I just kind of move on. So I'm happy that Josh is on the case here. That's a good thing as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, that's that video.